started going down to Hatteras in 2001, and then normally that, being a Canadian, you go down there in the spring to get ready for the summer, you know? You go down there for a month, a week, whatever, and spend a little time down there riding while it's still warming up back home.
Yeah, I mean, I moved down to Cape Hatteras in 2005, knowing absolutely nothing about the place. I didn't know it was a kiteboarding center of the East Coast. My parents got me a summer gig.
Yeah.
So I moved down there and really started to take up all it has to offer, from flat water to waves to beautiful empty beaches.
What are some of the most unique things about riding there? Obviously, we're going to be covering downwinders.
Yeah.
The conditions, definitely. You can go ride waves, then you can go ride flat water. You want to do some real choppy riding, you can do that.
How wide is it in places? It's super thin, long strip.
300 feet. There are some places where it's really, really small. I mean, I think the thickest part of the island is down in Buxton. It's maybe a couple miles thick at the thickest. I know the highest point on the island is 14 feet above sea level. So king of the castle, 14 feet.
That's the hurricane relief zone, you go there.
But the place in its own it's a really fragile, unique environment that's rapidly changing, especially with the climate and things changing these days, and it's just a really neat place to be.
So speaking of the way that it's set up, it makes some great downwinders. I don't know of many other places where you can get such long flat water downwinders in such interesting terrain, little canals, little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
How many downwinders are there that you know of, like set out routes, if you like?
There's tons. Well, and then you've got the ocean too, right? You can do downwinders in the ocean. There's, I don't know. There's endless downwinders.
I would say there's probably 5 really big popular ones. There's Planet of the Apes. And Salvo de Use, that's in waves. If you want to go in the ocean, there's like a ranger station run, which is in the ocean side coming down towards. And then a lot of people like to do the ferry docks to Robin Lane on the south side when it's blowing southwest and get some good clean wave riding. And then there's also one on the sound side down there that covers almost the same ground. It's from the to the Frisco Woods campground. You can launch from Kite Point and kind of tack across a big open expanse of water.
And the New Inlet.
New Inlet run.
New Inlet's the crazy one, right?
Yeah. You need a guide for that one to really enjoy it.
So the downwinder that you guys did for us was the Planet. So can you start by telling us how long it is and a few of the special things about it?
You got the facts? You want me to lay the fact? You want the local?
I don't even know how long it is.
Okay,
we're talking roughly, but I'm sure you've got it down to point.
It's about an 8-mile downwinder. It's going to be south of Rodanthe. Between mile marker 46 and 47, there's a little dirt turnout. The slick, the actual Planet of the Apes slick, is about 2 miles into the downwinder. Then there's another couple miles of some canals and stuff, and then there's the real slick in between there, and then you're going to land right there in Rodanthe. So it's about 8 miles. You can do it, most people do it about 2 hours is a good time. I've done it as fast as 22 minutes, but I've done it as long as 4 hours as well, you know, so it's kind of how long you want to take.
So we got some amazing footage from you guys. You were following each other, shooting from the kite, bits and pieces. What are some of the standout special areas of that downwinder?
The start of it, it's kind of choppy. There's a couple little canals you can go in the start, and then you kind of bomb through that really quickly, and then you get to the slick, to the Planet slick, and that's where we spent a lot of the time. You know, you kind of mob straight there, and then. But the only problem is if you crash there, you deflate your kite. I don't know, how far is it to walk into the road?
So if you're actually in the slick, it's about 1.5 miles to Salvo de Use. Downwind is your nearest point, and it's about 2 miles back to the launch.
Okay.
Other than that, there's nowhere else to get out. So
you're having fun, but you're not pushing it too far at that.
Right.
Hatteras obviously has a lot of kiteboarders, but one of the great things about doing a downwinder is you get space to yourself, and some of the footage that you guys have, flattest water I've ever seen, and just you guys having a...
So outside of the Planet Slick, in between, we won't say exactly where, but in between the Planet Slick and what is SDA, there's going to be a few canals. And what I mean by canal is essentially like a 6-foot wide channel of water that runs back into the sound, and some of them are dead ends, some of them are loops, some of them are really fun, and you get so far back in the reeds and the trees that the surface tension of the water is like grabbing your board. It's so flat.
But it's glass, like not a ripple. You actually go in, And because when there's a little bit of ripple, you have a little more air underneath your board.
Yeah.
And when you hit this glass water, you actually slow down, it feels like. It's just so pristine.
It looks like there's no wind.
Yeah. I know, it's always fun to rip back through there with one of your friends right on your tail, like looking back and smiling, having a great time. Like, I know people focus in on like freestyle or wake style, but really at the end of the day, it's all about having fun, and that downwinder provides you the ability to do huge floaty jumps, rip huge carving turns, ride butterflat glass water. You have flat water for wake style, like freestyle type tricks, and to finish it all off at the end with a cold beer and a band playing usually is not a bad way to end.
No, it doesn't get much better. Well, thanks a lot for shooting it, guys. Great footage. Let's have a look at some more of it.